Hey there! We are about to engage instruction in curriculum planning. Do you remember in the previous mini-lecture on performance assessment, we referred to a table highlighting the key differences between traditional behaviorist approaches and constructivist approaches in education? Well, this difference is not only true of assessment, it also counts for instruction. I'll give you a few moments to pause the screen and review the table. Note that this brief mini-lecture will not make the case for either constructivist instruction or behaviorist instruction. Rather, it will encourage you to find a good pragmatic balance between both constructivist and behaviorist forms of instruction when such are necessary and align with your learning objectives. Teacher-centered instructional strategies are usually behaviorist in nature. These instructional strategies tend to value teacher authority, and examples include lecturing and demonstration. They often engage lower-order thinking relative to Bloom's taxonomy. What do you think are the strengths and limitations of teacher-directed strategies? I'll give you a few moments to ponder. One advantage of using teacher-centered instructional strategies is that the teacher is able to cover a relatively large amount of content in a short space of time. Yet the downside is that students often struggle to maintain engagement and concentration since they are, for the most part, passive. Examples of teacher-centered instructional strategies include presentations and lectures, demonstrations, unidirectional questioning, recitations, drills, reviews, guided practice, and so on. Student-centered instructional strategies, in turn, are constructivist in nature, valuing learner autonomy instead. Examples include inquiry-based and cooperative learning. They often engage higher-order thinking relative to Bloom's taxonomy. What do you think are the strengths and limitations of student-directed strategies? Again, I'll give you a few moments to think. One advantage of using student-centered instructional strategies is that the learner is engaged in the instructional process as an active participant, so enhancing learner motivation. Yet the downside is that these activities require a notable amount of time and preparation. Examples of student-centered instructional strategies include cooperative learning, inquiry, discussion, debate, role-playing, and games, to mention but a few. The best way to balance teacher-centered instructional strategies and student-centered instructional strategies as a teacher is to allow for a gradual release of responsibility across the unit plan or even the lesson. This means that a teacher may initially begin by providing focused instruction, yet eventually will work towards the place where learners are working collaboratively and even later independently. In this way, the teacher gradually evokes ownership of learning within the learner. At this time, please revisit the supplemental must-view resources section on Blackboard in week 7, and note that for the next part of your curriculum planning assignment, you will develop the instructional planning portion of your mini-unit plan, rooted in your content area and grade level, and based on the organizing center and learning goals and objectives aligned to TEAC standards you previously wrote, as well as the assessment plan you wrote last week. Finally, please be sure to consult the sample of previous student work in the assignment description on Blackboard to see what your mini-unit plan ideally should resemble. Take good care. Bye-bye.